I made this commitment to the cashier at Barnes & Noble. This is my last book haul of 2022. Hey cutie, it's Cunning Little Cutie. Merry Christmas and happy Vlogmas. For today's video, I thought it would be fun to go over to Barnes & Noble to do a little Christmas book shopping, see what like cozy holiday romances they have, and just look at books in general. Let me take you with me as we go to the bookstore, and I will of course show you what I got when we get back. Okay, so I got a few books, and this is actually including the 2 books that I purchased recently online, just because I wanted to talk about them. But we'll go over the ones that I got from Barnes & Noble first. So this first one, I feel like it needs an introduction because it is truly my favorite book that I have read in 2022. Like, not in a excited or like over exaggerated way, but like genuinely #1 of the whole year, and that is Letters to the Lost by Brigid Kemmerer. And I have to thank Sunny Kim, who is also here on BookTube, for recommending this book to me. Sunny, you are just doing really important work over there on your channel, because like I never would have found this book otherwise, and it is just my favorite book now of the whole year. But I read the ebook on Scribd, and so because it's just one of those books that like I know I'm gonna want to come back to and annotate in the future, I was like, I need the physical copy. It's basically about this girl who has just lost her mom, and so in order to kind of deal with that, part of her grieving process is visiting her mom's gravesite and leaving letters to her, and that just kind of like gives her an opportunity to process her feelings and feel like her mom is still a part of her life. And so one day, like the very start of the book opens up in the graveyard, and Juliet is leaving her letter there, only the next time she comes back, she sees that someone has actually written a response to her letter. And so she doesn't know who it is, and they end up kind of starting up this letter correspondence, which then turns into email correspondence, and the whole time they don't know who each other is. But it turns out is actually a guy who goes to her school, and is also like the groundskeeper at the cemetery, and they are just both dealing with a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of like turbulent family issues, and just kind of helping each other through it while also falling in love. Next up, this was one of those really fun books where like I did not go into the store planning on buying this or even really knowing what this book was about. But that is The Agathas by Kathleen, Glasgow, and Liz Lawson. And this is actually, if you've ever seen this book before, this is the like Barnes & Noble exclusive copy. So normally this has like a blue background, but the Barnes & Noble edition is purple, and I love the purple so much more. I think it's so cute. So normally this is not the type of book that I would gravitate towards, but ever since watching Only Murders in the Building, I have been so obsessed with all things mystery and Agatha Christie vibes and whodunits. And what's really cool is it has like the classic mystery map in the front. And it's not like a super detailed fantasy map, okay, that's not what we're talking about, but just like the key locations throughout the story, which I think really helps. So that like if you're, you know, trying to solve the mystery along with the characters, you can kind of flip back and be like, does this make sense? Like, is this theory adding up, you know? And kind of trace it on the map. So I really like that. It makes me feel like I'm getting to be the detective as well. Okay, and then for the two that I had ordered online. So technically this was supposed to be a spooky season book and I just didn't get around to it. But I feel like maybe I could still read it, or I could save it for next year, and that is Sorceline by Sylvia, Douye, and Paola Antista. I might be saying those names wrong, and I'm so sorry if I am. But I think I mentioned this book in my Gilmore Girls TBR. I was super excited to read it, and then I just like ran out of time. But it is this beautiful graphic novel that is kind of like Newt Scamander vibes from what I understand. It is about this girl who's like fascinated with magical creatures, and she goes to this boarding school where she gets to learn magical zoology, and she gets to learn about, like, as you can see, all of the really interesting creatures on the cover. And like, look at that, like what I'm assuming are fairies or a fairy type creature. So cute. And that opening image of the spooky house on the hill with the autumn leaves is just so pretty. I tend to be pretty particular about the graphic novels that I actually buy, because I feel like a lot of times, you know, graphic novels, you read through them so quickly. I feel like I would rather just get them at the library, but this one is just so pretty that I really wanted to have this edition in my collection. And then the last book I got is actually my first experience shopping from thrift books. So if you've never shopped there before, it's basically where you can go and find pre-owned copies of books for like a cheaper price. And so I couldn't find the hardcover version of this book anywhere except for thrift books. And that is the Scandalous Sisterhood of Prickwillow Place by Julie Berry. I would rate my overall shopping experience as probably like an 8 out of 10. The shipping did not take too long at all, and this is obviously a pretty nice edition. There were like a couple of spots, like I don't know if you can see this corner is kind of dented in. There's some, you know, like cracked wrinkles on the edges. So it's like overall mostly good condition. But I'm so excited to read this. This is another mystery, and this is much more of a like kind of gothic with a twist sort of mystery. I think it's supposed to be a little bit satirical. We've got these like 6 or 7 girls who are at, let's see, the students at St. something school for young ladies, so like a finishing school, and it has all of their pictures. And let's see, what else does it have? Oh, okay, so it has their like relationships and acquaintances. Golly, I cannot read today. Relationships and acquaintances. So that's interesting. So this really is like you're getting to kind of solve the mystery along with them. So basically the story with this one is these girls, their teacher ends up being poisoned one night at dinner. But they really don't want to be sent back home. They want to stay at school. So rather than like telling the police, they decide to try and solve the mystery themselves. So I think this is gonna be really cool and really kind of like dark humor-ish but like young adult, like not like seriously dark, but just kind of like fun mystery humor type of thing. Like we've got like a cute little poisoned teacup there, you know, so that's kind of the vibe. Okay, so that is all for our cozy Christmassy bookstore vlog and haul. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please let me know if there's any way I can be encouraging you or praying for you this week. Otherwise, I will see you in the next vlogmas video.